Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Grav, aka Gravitate, and today is the first edition of the Grav Jersey Rankings, where I go through a specific NHL team and rank the worst and the best that franchise has to offer. And thankfully, we're starting with the New York Rangers, who have had some excellent sweaters over the years, but also some duds along the way. So for the Rangers, which jerseys do I see as the best and the worst? Well, make sure you watch till the end for the complete rankings and subscribe to the Sportsnet YouTube channel for the best sports coverage around. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, there are quite a bit of Rangers jerseys to talk about, but I wanted to start out with the worst as we work our way up to the best the Rangers have to offer. And unfortunately, there are a couple of pretty bad ones in my opinion, but easily the worst jersey in the Rangers' entire jersey history is the 1976 to 1978 home and aways. These are, in my opinion, absolutely dreadful, and it goes against what the Rangers are as a brand. You have the Rangers logo pure and center right there smack dab on the chest, and personally, without any stylization or anything added to the logo, it really does not work for the Rangers, and it's a completely different jersey than any other Rangers jersey before or since, not even just with the logo, but the stripe design. It's not necessarily bad, but it isn't what fits the New York Rangers. Now, if you don't know, the general manager at the time, John Ferguson, came up with this idea, and as the fans started to revolt against it, he ended up leaving the Rangers and taking this design to the Winnipeg Jets, where they would eventually get their iconic designs. It works for them, but not so much the New York Rangers. Now, this jersey was bad in my opinion because of the uncanny valley effect, but at the same time, it was at least memorable. This next one is bad because I could remember it, and it's just so bland to actually look at, and that is the 2014 Winter Classic jersey. In my opinion, to wear this much of a forgettable design at the Winter Classic should be enough for jail time. Like, it is horrible how bland this jersey is. Obviously, you have more of the dark blue color palette here, but I don't think it works whatsoever. There's almost nothing different about this jersey, and the things that are offensive to me personally, the shoulders, just the design there is wacky. The almost barber pole design on the sleeves going down is just not really fitting with the Rangers style and system. To me personally, this jersey is not just forgettable, but whenever I look at it, I want to stop looking at it. It is so bland and so milquetoast. But next up at number 8, we're going to go to one of the most interesting New York Rangers jerseys of all time, just because of what they could have been if they had stuck with it. At number 8, I have the 1946 to 47 sweaters. Now, this was the only jersey they wore back then, and it's pretty different. Even though the stripes and the color scheme and everything is the exact same, they had the Rangers word mark coming across the chest, as well as a football-like number on the middle. Now, if the Rangers stuck with this, their entire brand, their entire team and look would look completely different. Thankfully, this did not stick, but it's an interesting look into what the Rangers could have been if they had gone that route. Thankfully, though, it was only used for those couple of years. Now, going on to number 7, we're going to go to a jersey that, in my opinion, is a much better version of what we saw in the 2014 Winter Classic, and that's actually the Winter Classic jersey from just a couple of years before, back in 2012. Now, in my opinion, this is how you do a specialty white jersey right. It's simple, but it gets the job done. Even though it's very similar to normal Rangers jerseys, this, in my opinion, has enough to make it stand out. First things first, you got that stylized Rangers logo, which I think works for this jersey compared to just having the normal Rangers logo on a jersey flat and center. This, to me, is a much better option, and it works much better for this jersey, too. You kind of have the off-white look as well, which I think complements it, but the simple red and blue stripes are amazing, and again, I think the simple look is great for this type of jersey. Now, going into the top 6, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we truly start to get into the elite and iconic designs for the New York Rangers, and this is a great example next up. At number 6, I have the 1978 to 87 home and away jerseys. Now, these look like the ones we have now, but there are some pretty big differences. First things first, on the dark jersey, you have New York coming down the crest, which is a lot different from the Rangers we have right now, as well as the striping differences. There's a smaller and more subtle white and red stripes coming on the bottom, as well as the shoulder, as well as the elbows, and that's much different from the bold and brash white and red we have right now. Still, I think it works for this jersey, but it is pretty different from what the Rangers have now in 2022. But now coming in at number 5, this is probably the take that's going to get me the most in trouble with y'all, but you know what? Some people may die. Pretty much only me, but it's a risk I am willing to take to defend these extremely underrated jerseys. And coming in at number 5, I have the 2010 to 2017 third jersey. Now, in my opinion, a lot of things work about this one. Even though it is a simpler design, I like the color scheme here with that darker blue with the red and white, and they use it amazingly with the New York word mark, as well as the stripes on the bottom, as well as the elbows. It is a simple design, and maybe I prefer something on the shoulders, but in my opinion, this is a great example of simplicity at its best, and the Rangers are known to handle that pretty well over their jersey history. But now going on to number 4 on the rankings, this is a jersey that is maybe a little bit too much on the simpler side, but at the same time, it brings back a lot of a design we know and love. And coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with the Rangers' newest jersey in the 2020 Reverse Retros. Now, although I am disappointed that it wasn't a full return to the Lady Liberty jerseys, at the same time it's a step in the right direction to hopefully get them back in their full glory someday. Yes, the red on the bottom of the sleeves isn't there, and that is disappointing, but at the same time, a lot of the things we do love about it are still there. That amazing and classic logo is still ever present. That deep, almost purplish blue now is really interesting to see, and the striping still on the arms is decent. Again, maybe a little bit too simple, but I still think with that Lady Liberty logo, it's one of the best jerseys the Rangers have to offer. But now we're going to move on to, in my opinion, maybe the most underrated Rangers jersey of all time. Obviously, the home and aways get a lot of play, and the Lady Liberty jerseys get a lot of attention. But this jersey, in my opinion, is a Rangers jersey simply done amazingly well. I know I stretched that sentence out way too long, but you get what I mean. We're going to move on to number 3, and we're going to move on to the 2018 Winter Classic jersey. This, in my opinion, isn't, well, it's in the name. It's a classic jersey, but in my opinion, it is worthy of that name. I love that darker blue as the main color for a Rangers jersey, and I like how they use white as well. They have white as the stylized Rangers word mark, which is kind of a throwback to their first ever jersey where they had that same exact thing going on. But the white and the red complement that dark blue so amazingly well, and it goes throughout this whole jersey. Even the small details like the Captain A parts of the jersey, I don't even know what to say about that. The patches are like small white Rangers logos. Even those tiny details are in this jersey, and that to me is what completes the entire look. But now going on to the top 2, this is the 2 most iconic designs in New York Rangers history. These 2 are the jerseys that you probably think of when I say Rangers jerseys, as they should be. They are iconic and deserve as much praise as humanly possible. But unfortunately, one jersey has to come at number 2, and that jersey will be the current home and aways for the New York Rangers. Now, this iteration of the jersey was kind of first put into place in 1949, and was put until 1976, eventually being retired for that jersey that had the Rangers logo on the crest that was quickly and carefully put away. And the jersey was thankfully returned in 1997 and has stayed as the home and aways for the Rangers since then. It's a fantastic jersey. The simplicity is key. The font with the Rangers word mark, the bold white and red stripes, it is all fantastic. And again, the Rangers are a perfect example of that simplicity really being taken advantage here, and the colors, the blue, white, and red, it's all amazing, and it's all simply the New York Rangers to a T. But in my opinion, there is one jersey in the Rangers history that is better, and it is, in my opinion, one of the best jerseys in NHL history as well. We gotta move on to number 1 and move on to the king of the Rangers jersey history in the Lady Liberty jerseys. Well, I should say the queen of the Rangers jersey history, really, if we're putting that into effect. At the same time, looking at this jersey, it is, in my opinion, even more iconic in some ways than what the Rangers have for their home and aways. That Lady Liberty logo is, in my opinion, one of the best the NHL has to offer, but the color scheme with that dark blue, with that gray, with that amazing red on the end of the sleeves, as well as on the pants and everything, to me, everything about this is absolutely a masterpiece, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. Unfortunately, the 2020 reverse retros did. That's why I don't like it nearly as much, but to me, this is the perfect Rangers jersey and the perfect Rangers design. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the Sportsnet YouTube channel, and hit that subscribe button, or hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Make sure you comment down below as well what you guys agree and disagree with my Rangers jersey rankings, and what would be your worst and best jerseys in the Rangers history. I'd love to know. Make sure you share this video with your friends, get it to any Rangers or NHL fans you guys know online, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and goodbye.